Hey everybody. So this is Mr. Walker. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to solve one and two-step linear equations. Going to go pretty quick because this is a review of what you've been doing for several years now. So first thing is, what is a linear equation? I'm going to write some examples down here. So everything I'm writing is, I'm just making them up as I go. Everything that I wrote is a linear equation. All right, so x equals 5, 2x plus 2 equals 4, x plus 5 equals 3. Those are three linear equations. And basically, to recognize that something is a linear equation, what you're looking for is an x. Okay, so right here, it has an x. Right here, it has an x. Right here, it has an x. But it also has to have an exponent of 1 on that x. So I don't see an exponent on any of these x's. And if I don't see an exponent, the exponent's a 1. Okay, so that's a linear equation. It has an x, and all the x's have an exponent of 1. And you have more than one x, so you might have something that looks like this. That too is a linear equation because it has an x, and all the x's have exponents of 1. All right, so question is, how do we solve these? I'm going to erase these. These were just some examples of what they look like. I'm going to start with solving one-step linear equations. And it really is the simplest type of equation. So we might have something that looks like this. X plus 5 equals 8. And to solve it, I need to get this x all by itself, which means I need to get rid of that 5. How do I get rid of the 5? Well, I have to do the opposite of what's been done. I added a 5, so to get rid of it, I need to subtract a 5. So I'm going to subtract a 5 from this side. And what I do to one side, I got to do the other side. So I subtract a 5 from the other side. 5 minus 5, that's just 0. Leaving just the x equal 8 minus 5, that's 3. And that's the answer. All right, so that's a one-step equation because it's just one step. I subtract 5. Here's another linear equation. And again, it's a one step. And right here, I need to get that x all by itself, which means I need to get rid of that 2. Well, to get rid of it, I have to undo what's been done. So the question is, what operation is this? Well, if you don't see anything between your number and your x, that's multiplication. And the opposite of multiplication is division. So it has been multiplied by 2. I've got to do the opposite. I've got to divide by 2. And what I do to one side, I also do to the other. Right here, 2 divided by 2, that's just 1. So I have 1x equals, and 4 divided by 2 is 2. 1x equals 2 is your answer. But typically, you do not write the 1 in front of the x. You can just write x. That's your answer. So those are one-step linear equations. And there's also two-step linear equations. So I'm going to show you how to solve two-step linear equations. And obviously, there's going to be 2 steps. So let's say I have 2x plus 6 equals 12. So to solve this, I got to get rid of the 6, and I got to get rid of that 2, so the x is all by itself. Okay, so I need to get that x all by itself, so I need to get rid of the 6, I need to get rid of that 2. Question is, which one should I get rid of first? The 6 or the 2. And it's going to be a far simpler process if you get rid of the 6 first. So always get rid of the number that's farthest away from your x. Okay, that 2 is right next to your x, 6 is a little bit further away. If you get rid of this first, it's going to be a lot easier. Okay, we also call this reverse PEMDAS. If you remember your order of operations, addition and subtraction came last. Well, when you're solving equations, you can do those operations in reverse. So you undo the addition first. So I'm going to get rid of the 6. Well, I'm adding a 6, so I need to do the opposite. I'm going to subtract a 6 from both sides. 6 minus 6 is 0, leaving just the 2x equals, and 12 minus 6 is 6. And now I can get rid of my 2. I'm multiplying by 2, so I have to do the opposite. And divide both sides by 2. 2 divided by 2 is just 1. But I don't have to write the 1. I can just write the x. Equals 6 divided by 2 is 3. And that is your answer. We'll do one more 2-step equation. Go ahead and erase this. So let's say negative 3x minus 4 equals negative 2. So I'm going to solve this. I need to get the x all by itself. So I got to get rid of this minus 4. And I got to get rid of this negative 3. And get that x all by itself. Again, always get rid of that number that's farthest away from your x. It'll make it easier. You could get rid of the negative 3 first, but you're going to create a lot of fractions in doing so. So let's get rid of this number first. I'm subtracting a 4. The opposite of subtracting a 4, or the inverse operation, is adding a 4. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. Right here, 4 minus 4, that's just 0, leaving just the negative 3x equals, and on the other side, negative 2 plus 4 is 2. And then to get rid of my negative 3, well, I'm multiplying by negative 3 right here. So I have to do the inverse. The inverse of multiplying by negative 3 is dividing by negative 3. What I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1. But I don't have to write the 1. I can just write the x equals. And 2 divided by negative 3. Well, a positive number divided by a negative number is a negative 2/3. And that's your answer. Okay. Now, I do want to show you one thing about these linear equations. That's going to be an important segue into the next unit, which you're going to be talking about. So, I'm going to put a linear equation up here. 3x plus 2 equals 5. Every linear equation can be written in a form that looks like this. ax plus b equals 0. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this side right here equal to 0. I'm going to subtract a 5 from both sides. So again, that side equals 0. 2 minus 5 is negative 3. Now I have the 3x here. Drop my plus. There you have it. 3x plus negative 3 equals 0. Whenever you have a linear equation and one side equals 0, this is called the standard form of that linear equation. And if you were to graph this, whole thing right here, the x-intercept of this would be the solution. Okay? So whenever an equation has one side equal to 0, the x-intercept is going to be the solution to that equation. Now, that's not so important for linear equations, okay? Because you don't have to get one side equal to 0. But in your next unit, we're going to be looking at quadratics. And in quadratics, you have to get one side equal to 0 to be able to solve it, okay? But just realize that all equations can have one side equal to 0. And when they do, the x-intercept, if you were to graph this, the x-intercept would be the solution to that equation. Okay, so that's kind of important in the next unit, and that'll kind of get you used to that idea. And that's it, solving 1 and 2 step linear equations. All right, talk to y'all later.